Imagine waking up tomorrow with complete mastery over every single word you speak, every feeling that runs through you, every dollar you spend, and every thought that pops into your mind that might sound like a tall order or even downright impossible. But over 2,000 years ago, there was a man who believed that wasn't just a dream. He believed it was the only way to live a truly free life. His name was Marcus, and he was born a slave. Yeah, let that initial thought really sink in. Marcus had no control over his body, no say in where he was or what was happening to him, and he was owned by another person. Yet somehow, he discovered something so profound that it transformed him from a physical prisoner into one of the most influential teachers of mental and emotional freedom the world has ever known. He taught no one can hurt you without your permission. At first glance, that might seem harsh, especially if you're going through genuine pain right now. But what Marcus meant was this: while life can throw all kinds of chaos at us, we can't always control what happens outside, but we most definitely control how we respond to it. And in that response lies the real source of our power. Today, most of us aren't physically enslaved, but many of us are trapped by our own uncontrolled words, impulsive emotions, reckless spending, and overwhelming thoughts. We say things we instantly regret. We let moods ruin entire days. We spend money we don't have on things we don't need. We allow fear, doubt, and worry to take over our minds and spiral out of control. But what if I told you that the same wisdom that freed Marcus's Roman slave could actually set you free too? What if the very things you feel most out of control over, your mouth, your mood, your money, and your mind, could turn out to be your greatest strengths? The ancient Stoics had figured something out that many of us today seem to have forgotten. True wealth isn't measured in dollars, it's measured in self-control. Real power isn't about controlling other people, it's about mastering yourself. And real freedom isn't about having endless options, it's about making the right choices consistently, day after day. Life constantly presents us with opportunities to practice this mastery. Think of it this way: someone cuts you off in traffic, that's your moment to control your words and your mood, rather than reacting impulsively. You're tempted to make a purchase you don't need, that's your chance to take charge of your money. Your mind starts racing with fear or doubts, that's your opportunity to reclaim your thoughts. The beauty of Stoic wisdom is that it doesn't demand perfection from you. Even Marcus Aurelius, arguably the most powerful man in Rome, struggled with these very issues. In his journal, he reminded himself every day, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. This isn't about pretending to be devoid of emotion. It's about anchoring yourself so deeply in who you are that external chaos can't easily shake you. When you control your mouth, you speak with intention rather than impulse. When you manage your mood, you choose your emotional state instead of being its victim. When you handle your money wisely, it becomes a tool for peace rather than a source of stress. And when you master your mind, you become the author of your thoughts instead of their prisoner. Over the next few minutes, I want to share with you 4 fundamental pillars of personal power: your mouth, your mood, your money, and your mind. These are ancient principles that remain more relevant today than ever before. I'll give you practical tools you can start applying right now. But here's the catch: these only works if you're committed. Each section builds on the previous one, so don't jump ahead. Stay with me through every part, and I promise this could be the turning point of your life. If you're serious about taking back control, hit that like button now. Drop a comment telling me which of these 4 areas you struggle with the most. And make sure you're subscribed, because this journey to mastery is just getting started. Share this with someone who needs it. Real power begins with each of us. Now say this with me: I am the master of my mouth, my mood, my money, and my mind. Number, master your mouth. Let's talk about your words, your gateway to wisdom. You've probably heard the phrase, the tongue is a small thing, but what enormous damage it can do. What most folks miss is this: your speech isn't just about hurting others, it's about shaping who you are becoming. Seneca, one of Rome's greatest Stoic philosophers, studied speech for years, observing how careers could be built or destroyed with a single sentence. Friendships could crumble, and alliances could be formed through careful communication. But his most profound insight came from observing himself. He wrote, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end," meaning every word you utter is an ending of one version of you and the start of another. The question is, are you becoming someone you respect? Think back to the last time you said something in anger that you immediately regretted. Suddenly, you felt the raw power of uncontrolled speech. Your words slipped out before your wisdom had a chance to catch them. Now, imagine if you could reclaim that power and use your words intentionally, not just letting them escape in moments of emotion. The Stoics had a simple but powerful practice called the pause. Before you speak, especially in emotional situations, pause and ask yourself three questions. Is it true? Is it helpful? Is it kind? If the answer to any of those is no, stay silent. But controlling your mouth isn't just about holding back negative words. It's also about consciously using positive ones, brushing someone's hair back, saying a genuine compliment, encouraging someone's effort. When you do this, you're training yourself to see the good in the world, training your mind to look for solutions instead of problems. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Be like the rocky headland on which the waves constantly break. It stands firm and the waters are laid to rest around it." Your words can be that headland for others, calm, steady, dependable. For the next week, try this simple practice. Before you speak in any emotional moment, take 3 deep breaths. First, ask yourself what you're feeling. Second, try to understand what the other person might be feeling. And third, consider what words would serve everyone's highest good. When you speak with intention, people respond differently, listen more carefully, trust you more deeply, and come to seek your guidance. It's not about manipulation. It's about gradually becoming someone worth listening to. And here's the best part: your relationship with yourself improves too. Each promise you keep, each kind word you speak about yourself, reshapes how you see yourself. Avoiding gossip and negativity means focusing your mental energy on what you can control. Remember, words don't just communicate your thoughts, they craft your inner world. When you consistently choose words rooted in possibility, gratitude, and wisdom, your mind begins to think that way automatically. This gateway, your mouth, is the bridge between your inner thoughts and outer actions. Master this bridge, and you'll master the flow of energy in your entire life. Number, master your mood next. Let's get real about your inner weather, your mood. Imagine waking up every day and letting someone else decide what the weather's going to be inside your mind. Some mornings they pick a storm of anger, other days, a fog of sadness, and occasionally, if you're lucky, a bright sunny happiness. That's how most folks live, at the mercy of external circumstances, letting life dictate how they feel. But here's the truth that turned my life around, and that the Stoics knew over 2,000 years ago. You are not a victim of your emotions, you are the creator of them. Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and psychologist, spent years in Nazi concentration camps and made a discovery that echoes Stoic wisdom. He realized that between any stimulus and our response, there's a gapa moment of power. In that space is where we can choose how we react. That split second is your opportunity to decide, will I let this upset me, or will I accept it and choose my response? Your mood isn't a random storm, it's a well-tuned instrument that you can learn to play rather than be played by. The key isn't wanting less, it's wanting to process what you already have, accepting what you can't change, and diligently working on what you can. When you master this discipline of desire, your mood becomes a steady, reliable performance rather than a chaotic storm. Here's a shocker. Your emotions are not hard facts, they're interpretations. When someone doesn't text you back immediately, your mind might jump to them ignoring you or being mad. But what if instead you told yourself a different story? Maybe they're busy, their phone died, or they're planning something thoughtful for you. Marcus Aurelius practiced this daily reflection, reminding himself, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Start practicing this today. Think of something that's been bothering you. Now ask yourself, what story am I telling myself? Could I see it differently? Which story best serves my highest good? When you realize you've been the author of your emotional experience all along, you gain incredible power over how you feel. But this isn't about pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing responses that uplift rather than drain you. Every night, take a moment for evening reflection. What emotions did I experience today? Which ones served me? Which ones controlled me? How could I respond better tomorrow? When you do this, you stop fearing your emotions and start understanding them as signals, not directives. You become the calm in the chaos, the steady center that others turn to when everything else seems overwhelming. This understanding grants you the ability to see challenges as opportunities. When you find anger rising, consider what it's telling you. When sadness comes, let it remind you of your compassion. Remember, your mood is your inner weather system, just like a meteorologist. You can learn to forecast, prepare for, and influence the storm inside you. Number master your money. Let's now talk about your relationship with money, your greatest tool for freedom. Money is a mirror of who you truly are, reflecting your values and priorities more than anything else in life. It isn't just about currency, it's about energy, time, and choices. How you handle your money either moves you toward freedom or chains you to your desires. Seneca, one of Rome's wealthiest men, summed it up perfectly when he said, "It's not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is poor." He didn't just write about this philosophy, he lived it. Despite his riches, he deliberately chose discomfort, sleeping on the floor, eating simple meals to remind himself that happiness doesn't come from luxury. The harsh truth is this: if you can't control your spending, you can't control your life. Every purchase either advances your freedom or deepens your slavery. There's no neutral ground. Mastering money isn't about being cheap or depriving yourself of joy. It's about aligning your spending with your core values and using money as a tool to serve a greater purpose. When you buy stuff because you're sad, bored, or trying to impress others, money is controlling you. But when you spend intentionally for something that genuinely adds value to your life or helps you serve others better, you are wielding money as a tool of growth rather than letting it enslave you. The Stoics believed in something called preferred indifference, things that are good to have but don't determine your happiness or worth. Money falls into this category. It's better to have it than not, but it should never dominate your life. Think back to your last impulse, probably collecting dust somewhere in your house right now. Ask yourself, what was I really after? Was it the item or the feeling, status, comfort, or acceptance I thought it would bring? Here's a game-changing practice. Before you make a non-essential purchase, pause and ask yourself, what am I really trying to buy here? If it's a feeling or an experience, find a way to get that feeling without spending money first. More often than not, you'll realize you don't need the purchase at all. True mastery of money isn't just about controlling spending, it's about generating value. When you shift your perspective to serving others through your work, money becomes an aftereffect of doing good, not the main goal. Marcus Aurelius said, "In the morning when you wake unwillingly, remind yourself, I am rising to the work of a human being." When you see your work as service, you naturally bring excellence to it, which leads to greater reward, sometimes financial, sometimes personal satisfaction. Here's a technique I used that changed everything. I started tracking not just where my money went, but how I felt afterward. I created 3 columns: purchase, reason, and feeling after. The results surprised me. The things that truly brought me joy were always aligned with my values: books that expanded my mind, special moments with loved ones, tools that helped me serve others better. The impulsive buys, the status symbols, the emotional spending, these always left me feeling hollow or regretful. Mastering money isn't about hoarding or depriving yourself. It's about building wealth that allows freedom to give generously, take calculated risks, and make decisions based on what's right rather than what's easiest or cheapest. Remember the Stoics' concept of assets versus liabilities. Every dollar should either help you earn more or serve others better. Master your mind, and lastly, your mindier command center. Think of your mind as a garden. Every thought you allow to stay is a seed you're planting. The question: what kind of harvest do you want to reap? Right now, thousands of thoughts are fighting for your attention: worries about tomorrow, regrets from yesterday, judgments about what you're hearing, plans for later. Most people drift through life as passive spectators of this mental chaos, unaware that they have the power to choose which thoughts to entertain. Epictetus, another Stoic giant, believed that true wealth isn't in possessions but in having few desires. But he wasn't just talking about material things, he was talking about mental wealth. When you stop entertaining every thought that knocks on your mind's door, you become incredibly rich in peace and clarity. What's a better analogy? You wouldn't let strangers walk into your house and rearrange your furniture, right? Yet, you let random, negative thoughts walk into your mind and mess with your emotional state. Just one negative thought, if you give it attention, can ruin your entire day. The Stoics developed a practice called constant vigilance over your thoughts and staying present. It's not meditation the way most think of it, but more like being a security guard for your own mind, deciding which thoughts get access and which ones are turned away. Here's a simple way to start today. Every time you notice yourself spiraling into negativity, pause and ask yourself, is this thought helping me or hurting me? Is it moving me toward who I want to become? If it's hurting you, consciously replace it with a more productive thought. That might be as simple as shifting from "this is terrible" to "this is challenging, and I will find a way forward." Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it." He understood the importance of controlling your mental landscape. While he couldn't control politics, enemies, or even his own aging, he knew he had sovereignty over his thought's inner kingdom. Your mind constantly scripts stories. For example, someone doesn't smile at you, so your mind invents rejection. Traffic's heavy, so your mind jumps to disaster. The power you hold is to rewrite those stories in real time. The ancient Stoics called this the discipline of judgment, ability to distinguish facts from the stories we project onto those facts. A fact is simply it's raining. A story is this rain is ruining my day. By mastering this, your emotional state stops being dictated by outside events. Try this now. Think of a stressful situation in your life. Separate the actual facts from the story you're telling yourself. You might find most of your stress comes from the story, not the facts. Your mind is also an incredible problem solver, but only when you give it clear direction. Instead of spiraling with worry, ask yourself, what's the best way to handle this? Or what challenge can I solve right now? Because your thoughts are either building you up or tearing you down. You are literally creating yourself through every thought you think. Comment below. I am the architect of my mind. Claim your power. The ripple effect. Now, here's the beautiful part about mastery. When you begin cementing these 4 pillars, they don't just change each one individually. They create a ripple that transforms your entire life experience. It's like tuning a guitar. When one string is perfectly tuned, the whole instrument sounds better. Master your mouth, and people seek out your counsel because your words carry credibility. Your words bring calm and clarity. Master your mood, and you become the steady anchor others turn to during chaos. Master your money, and you gain the freedom to choose your path based on your values, not just survival. Master your mind, and you start seeing possibilities instead of problems. But the real magic happens in the spaces between these pillars because each one amplifies the others. Think of Sarah, a single mother who attended one of my workshops last year. She was overwhelmed, ridden, snapping at her kids, terrified about the future, stuck in negative thought patterns that kept her awake at night. Within 6 months, she paid off her credit cards, started a small side business, and her relationship with her children transformed from stress and frustration to love and understanding. Most importantly, she told me she felt like herself again calm, confident, and fully in control. This is what the Stoics called the upward spiral. Each small victory in one area fuels progress in others. When you control your words in a heated moment, you prove to yourself you can control your emotions. When you resist an impulse purchase, you strengthen your mental discipline. Remember Aristotle, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence isn't a one-time act, it's a habit. The Stoics understood that mastery over these four areas compounds. Every day you practice makes every future day easier. Think about who you were 6 months ago. What challenges did you face then? Now, picture who you could become in 6 months if you commit to this path. The difference isn't as vast as you might think, it's just a series of small, consistent choices. Here's a key reminder. You don't have to be perfect at all four areas right away. Trying to master everything simultaneously often leads to frustration and giving up. Instead, pick one pillar, whichever resonates most with you right now, and focus on that for the next 30 days. When you strengthen one, the others will naturally follow. The Stoics believed in the concept of sympathizeth interconnectedness of all things. Your inner work isn't just for you, it benefits everyone around you. When you speak more thoughtfully, you reduce conflict. When you manage your emotions better, your environment becomes more peaceful. When you handle your money wisely, you set an example for your family. When your thoughts are focused on solutions, you become a source of positive influence. And here's the most powerful part. Mastery in these areas isn't just about overcoming external challenges. It's about changing your whole perspective, seeing obstacles as opportunities to practice your mastery. Every tough conversation becomes a chance to control your words. Every stressful moment, an opportunity to regulate your mood. Every financial decision, a practice in wisdom. Every worry, a chance to redirect your mental energy. Comment below if you're ready to turn every challenge into an advantage. Every obstacle is a lesson in growth. We began with Epictetus, who proved that it's not our circumstances that define us, but how we respond within those circumstances. His secret wasn't about changing what happened. It was about mastering himself inside those events. Today, you face the same choice he did. Recognize that true freedom isn't about having countless options. It's about making the right choices consistently. You now see that your mouth, your mood, your money, and your mind aren't separate faces, they're interconnected pillars supporting your growth or undermining it. Remember, this isn't about perfection. It's about intention. Each time you pause before speaking, you're practicing mouth mastery. Each time you choose your emotional response, you're building mood mastery. Each time you align your spending with your core values, you're cultivating money mastery. And each time you redirect a negative thought, you're developing mental sovereignty. The Stoics faced wars, plagues, political chaos, and personal tragedies, yet they didn't crumble, they thrived, because they developed unshakable inner strength through mastering these four areas. That same strength is available to you. Your transformation begins today with a single decision: to take responsibility for your inner world. 6 months from now, you'll be either the same person with the same struggles or someone who's learned to navigate life with wisdom, intention, and calm inner strength. The choice lies with you, and the time to decide is right here and now. Remember Marcus Aurelius' words: no one can hurt you without your permission. Today, you withdraw that permission. Today, you start the journey from reactive chaos to conscious control, free from slavery to circumstances. The four pillars of mastery are waiting. Your future self is counting on you. And somewhere in the timeless realm of ideas, the Stoics are cheering you on. Take that first step, begin today. Start now. If this message hit home for you, smash that like button, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and drop your commitment in the comments below. Subscribe for more real, life-changing wisdom. Your journey to mastery starts now. And as a final affirmation, say it aloud or in your mind. Today, I choose mastery over mediocrity, intention over reaction, and freedom over slavery to circumstances.